Good morning, Quadcopter 101 here, and what I got for you today is a review of the new MJX X101 quadcopter, the advertised SEMA X8C killer. Now, this quadcopter is a big quadcopter, similar in size to the SEMA X8C, but not similar in size to weight. One thing I note about it is its battery is not as large as the SEMA X8C battery, so I have some concerns there about this meeting the same flight time as the SEMA X8C. Also, its advertised range is about 100 meters, which is about the same as the X8C, although the X8C actually gets out to about 200 meters with its transmitter. What I got for today is I'm going to attach my RunCam HD camera to it. Now, the quadcopter does have versions that come with different versions of the MJX cameras. I believe the C4005, the C4008, C4009. Each has varied capabilities such as higher megapixel, and also one of them, I believe, even has, or a couple of them even have FPV capability. But again, I like my RunCam. I throw this on just about all of my quadcopters that are capable of carrying it. But notice this anti-vibration mount that's included with it. This came with the base model, the model that does not even have a camera. So that is cool. So you can, they're thinking of people who want to add their own cameras to the quadcopter. They include the anti-vibration mount even with the basic quadcopter, which is really cool. I like that. And it seems to be a good anti-vibration mount. At least it wiggles quite a bit, so hopefully that'll keep down the vibrations of this quadcopter affecting jello on my camera. Overall, it is a good-looking quadcopter. Pretty nifty. Evil looking if you look from the front. Scary looking. But overall, great camera. Great looking quadcopter. Let's send it out for a flight and see actually how it performs. Hope you enjoy this flight. Now, the quadcopter does have an on-off switch, which is great. I really like that. All quadcopters should have on-off switches. It also has headless mode. Now, for headless mode today, the wind's coming from the direction of Owens Peak over there. So I'm going to use that as our base heading and point the quadcopter in the direction of Owens Peak so we can demonstrate headless mode later. That camera's recording, binding the transmitter, and you got to do it twice with these MJX quadcopters for some reason. Now, this is my first flight with this quadcopter, and since this has brushed motors, I am going to be very gentle with this quadcopter today. Keeping it about 50% throttle, right about there, going into hover. Oh, this is in mode 1. I forgot. MJX quadcopters come in different modes, bringing it back in. Why do they do that? I should have checked before taking off. Now, those of you who get this, okay, reducing throttle. This is wild. I'm flying in mode 1. Landing. Those of you who get this thing defaulted to actually mode 4. This quadcopter has varied modes. Now I'm in mode 2. I should have went over this transmitter real quick. This transmitter, again, is capable of going mode 1, mode 2, and mode 3, and mode 4. Right now I'm going to keep it in mode 2. We're starting a beginner. This adjustment stick, or adjustment on your control here, adjusts the responsiveness of the quadcopter to your commands. I like to keep mine set high, almost full clockwise. The buttons on the transmitter, this is one key return, and this one on the right is, I believe, flips and headless mode. Again, we're going to start off in beginner's rate and double check that it says mode 2 before you take off if you're used to flying mode 2, or else you will crash. I almost, that scared me there for a second because I am not used to flying. That was mode 4. It was real weird inputs on the stick. But we're going off for another flight now. We are in mode 2 this time. And here we go again. Let me double check. Yep, that's it. That's mode 2. Okay, folks, be careful of that, like I said. Okay, right now we're about 60, 70 meters rotating of the quadcopter. Very nice and stable. I must be up about 80 meters or so. Again, the advertised range of this is 100 meters. So I got to be careful here. Flying it overhead. I'm guessing about 80 meters up. Going upwind a bit. Yeah, I'm out about 100 meters up. Rotating, rotating. Actually, the range is probably more than 100 meters, more than advertised here, folks. Just a slow rotate, which is good. I like it when they advertise one thing and then they give you a better range than advertised. But I am about 300 feet up. So when you fly this, do your high flight first while you got battery power. And then reduce throttle. Now we're gonna bring it down and demonstrate other features of the quadcopter. I'm curious how the video is coming out on this. Boy, I'm slowly reducing throttle, and that thing loves to stay in the air. Here we go. I'm coming down now. Very low throttle on this. So those props on this are very high efficiency apparently, because this thing barely has any throttle on it at all, and it's easily staying in the air. Okay, now I feel confident about the range. Let's take it down in the gully here. Lowering the throttle even more. Damn! I barely got any throttle on this at all. And it just stays in the air. Cool. Hi there. That was the wind blowing it by. Okay, now I wanted to demonstrate headless mode on this. Oh, this is a nice flyer. Very stable. But let's go into headless mode. Oh, actually, let's go one key return. Okay, you're flying off in the distance. Now remember, when you do one key return, you want to fly down the headless mode bearing and keep the quadcopter down that bearing for most of your flight. Okay, you've lost orientation. I'm going to turn to the right a bit, and then all you need to do, is press that one key return button. And I'm holding it down, but it doesn't seem to be coming back. Maybe if I go to intermediate. Well, one key return doesn't seem to be coming back. Oh, I think you got to be in headless mode to do that. Wait a minute. That's right. I read in the directions you got to be in headless mode. Okay, go into headless mode. Okay, I should be in headless mode. Pulling back. Yeah, I'm in headless mode, all right. So I'm going off into the distance in headless mode. Pressing the one key return. And does it return? Well, yeah, kind of. There's it coming back. Coming out. So for one key return to work, as per the directions, you got to be in headless mode. Going down, or the direction, and going outward, pressing one key return, and here it comes back, just to show you that it's me, that it's coming back. But it keeps on going until you move the stick. Okay, let's demonstrate other things you can do with headless mode. Okay. Now headless mode seems to be varying on this. No, okay. That is the direction. I've got to remember toward the mountains was the base heading. So what I'm going to do is fly backwards using headless mode. and doing a crane shot. It just seems to be a really cool flyer. Okay, I'm going to come out of headless mode here for a second. That should be normal again. Now, headless mode is a weird thing. You use it, let's go back to headless mode and I'll show you what you use it for. You use it for panning purposes. If you want to keep the camera on yourself, particularly a camera bird like this, it comes in handy for that. But, you know, as there's no gimbal on this, coming out of headless mode, your pictures are going to be tilted. Your video will be tilted if you do that. That's my lights. Let's fly it overhead here. Let's get a close-up of this quadcopter while it's hovering here. And adjusted the trim a bit. Okay, my lights are... I can't see my lights. Can't really see those lights. Let me land it for a second and make sure those lights aren't blinking. You can't really see the lights on this because they're encased within the... and they're blinking. So I'm going to call off... Okay, if you can look real closely, the LEDs are inside the case. So you're not going to be able to see this low voltage warning in daylight. You're going to have to land it to check it. Now that's one thing I did not realize about this, okay? Again, all the LEDs are inside the case. Now, you know, this white color is probably going to look pretty cool at night. You'll be able to see it at nighttime, but in the daytime you will not be able to see the low voltage warning, the LED blinking like it is right now. So I'm going to stop the flight right there with the low voltage warning since we're blinking, and I am not in headless mode. And I'm going to stop the video too. Okay, overall, it is a good flyer. It flies real nice. The one thing I don't like, there's actually two things I don't like, is the LEDs are inside the case of the quadcopter, and you're supposed to see, they're expecting you to be able to see those blinking LEDs through the case, the white case. You're not going to be able to see it in daylight unless you put it up to your face like that. The other thing I don't like is the battery. The battery is just too small for this quadcopter. They should have included a larger battery. Now, even though that battery is small, keep in mind that because that battery is small, the weight on this quadcopter is somewhat light. So you don't really need much throttle to lift off in the air or to stay in the air, which means you're not going to stress these motors too much with this quadcopter using the stock battery. Your motors are probably, even though they're brushed motors, they'll probably last somewhat longer than you see on the Tarantula or the X8C. You'll probably have long-lasting motors with this quadcopter because you're not lifting as much weight with this. It flies in the air very easily. I was barely giving it any throttle at all, and it was flying horizontally through the air. So it is a good flyer in that case. Overall, hopefully, notice that thing wiggling? Hopefully the anti-vibration mount, because of that wiggle, will give us a nice, smooth video, low on jello. But we'll find out in post-production here. You'll notice it. So this is Quadcopter 101 with a review of the new MJX. Let me get a thumbnail with MJX in the picture. MJX X101. Hope you enjoyed this flight. This is Quadcopter 101, signing out.